there, it's Christy here at My Artful Adventures. This Tiny Tuesday, it's all about adding several hidden places into just one area without making things too bulky. So let's get started. What we're going to use today is a 5x7 envelope. And by using this, I can put this anywhere later. Sometimes it's fun to just have something ready to go and then be able to add it into a project. So that's what this is going to be. Now I'm going to leave this flap open because I'll be able to adhere this flap to the edge of a page, and that way I'll be able to use it as a tip in. So your page would be here, and then you'd be able to do this, and then here's our first hidden spot is going to be right there. So now then, let's go to our next step. I'm going to use another small envelope. I'm going to go ahead and secure this flap, because I don't need this one to be open. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down here and just close it up. And now what I want to do is I'm going to do two things to this particular envelope. One, I'm going to trim off just the very side here, just a little sliver right here on this edge. So just a tiny bit. You can use your paper trimmer if you want. I think I'll leave that side where that flap is. And just a little bit. If you want it to be super straight, you can get out your paper trimmer and do it. But I'm just going to cut that much. All I want is to be able to have this open, just like this, okay? And so now that I've got that open, I'm going to go ahead and do a little notch in it, so it's easier to see that it's open. Just like that. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of ink to that edge, just because I think that'll kind of... I like to add ink to these places where you've got an edge like that. I think it just helps make it more prominent that there is a spot there that you can open up, right? Okay, so now we've got that. And yet, when we glue this on, we're only going to use 3 sides. So I bet you can already guess why we're going to do 3 sides. We're going to do the 2 sides and the bottom. So by doing only 3 sides, we're going to make this a pocket. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let that dry a minute. But now this is a pocket that we can get to like this. Okay, now I've got this fun little printable here. I'm going to put my glue cap back on. Okay, so I've got a little mailbox here, a little graphic, and I'm just going to finish cutting that out. I started it and didn't finish. Just going to trim that up real quickly. Now, the thing about this is it doesn't have to be a mailbox. It could be anything. It could be a label, a photo, any kind of an embellishment that you want it to be. Now on this one, I think just for the sake of balance, I'm not going to put it clear to the edge. I'm going to just leave it a little here. I'm going to go ahead and bring it clear down to the bottom. But this time, I'm going to just glue 2 sides. Okay, so I'm going to glue along one side and then the bottom. And now this can become a tuck spot. All right. Okay, so now we've got a side right here to tuck something into. All right, now there you go. That just didn't take long at all, right? And now you've got, you've actually got 4 different places you can put something. You've got the back of your envelope. You've got this pocket that we made here. You put something long in this one and stick it out the top. If you didn't want it to be that long and have that much room, you could put a glue line, across here and shorten up that pocket. But it's always fun to have something that you can put something longer in, right? And then we've got this whole pocket right here, this side pocket. And then we've got, this little tuck spot right here. And since it's a mailbox, why don't we make an envelope that'll fit right in there? How about that? I'm just going to grab, this is a super easy, quick little way to make an envelope. This is 3x3. This is just a Post-it note size. So if you forget what size it is, think about a Post-it note. You can grab one and measure that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this, and it's nice if you've got a grid. You don't have to do any other measuring. And what I want to do is I want to bring these up to just touch, okay? And then if you do it this way, you can make sure that you've got it, centered, all right? So those are centered. Now you're going to fold up the bottom, and you do want a little bit of an overlap on this bottom, like this. And then the same on the top, just overlap it a little bit, or you're not going to fold at that. You're not going to fold where this crease right, or you're not going to fold where it comes together right here. That's what I'm trying to say. You're going to just fold it down. So you've got a tiny bit on the top and the bottom. And so now to make it fold really nice and have a clean little envelope fold, it's sticking to itself here on this, on the sticky part of the Post-it note. Okay, so now where you've got these little sections to intersect, you can intersect, just trim those away. And trim on the insides of, just trim the fold away. So then you don't even have that showing. And you can actually, if you would rather, it looks kind of nice too if you take these and you just round those like that. And usually if I'm going to do that, I will go all the way around doing one side, and then I'll flip and do the other side. And I'll show you what I mean by that. It just makes it super easy to round those corners, because these are tiny. You're not going to probably have a corner rounder that fits that, right? So what I would do is I would just do this one side like this, flip it, do the same side like this, and do all these. And you could just do that as you were cutting it off in the first place, but you have to make that a plan, right? And then flip it over. So then I'm still doing that same right side of those each time, and that's only because I'm right-handed, and it just makes it easier to cut like that. I bet if you're left-handed, you would want to cut the other direction, and it just makes it easy. That's just one of those little, cutting tricks that over time you learn, right? So now then you fold these together. You fold one up like this, and if you want, you could either cut this off. You could fold it flat if you wanted to. You could round this one off as well. Just give it a little round edge. Then you've got a really professional looking envelope. And then what I like to do is make sure that your flap, make sure you know where it falls on here. So I know that it covers these. So if I just go ahead and I add my glue right along here, I don't have to worry about where it falls on the flap. I know it's going to be there. And there I've got a little envelope. And I can stick that into my post office box here, into my mailbox. And so then you've got something you've already got ready in your box. But how fun is that? And you guys, I've been playing with a few different little tiny envelope styles. So I'll probably focus on those on a different Tiny Tuesday. Thanks for popping in, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me.